Let's see. Ooh, I should move my microphone. All right, we are live. It is another Tuesday in paradise. Let me just fix the camera so you guys can see a little bit of the mic. What is going on? How you feeling today, retired watch guy?
Another day, another 0.0001 Bitcoin. How about
Hey,
yourself?
there you go. I'll take some Bitcoin. Another day in paradise, man. Feeling great. It was a nice Labor Day weekend. And here we are back together again with our friends. All right, I'm just updating the description and title because once again, it did not want to work for me. But we have a great show lined up. We got GPHG finalists have been announced, so we get to dig in on that. We spoke about the big list of nominees that came out. I think it was last month.
Yeah, I don't remember us covering that.
Yeah. So now we get down to the finalists, and I think it's gonna be a good time.
What's going on, Caesar? How you doing today, man?
Hail Caesar, what's happening? Happy Tuesday. Hope all is well. All right, beautiful. And we updated there. Hope everybody's having an amazing day. And you know how we get the party started off. If you need independent watch advice, buy, sell, trade, anything you need, check out cqthewatchguide.com. All right, before we get into the GPHG winners, I think let's do one or two new arrivals as we're heading into Geneva Watch Days.
What's going on,
The
Tan? How you
leaks are
doing,
starting.
brother?
What's happening, Tan? Bonjour. Hope all is well. Let me tell the people on Instagram we're live really quickly. We got a new Moses smoked salmon. As the salmon season in Alaska, is coming to an
What's
end.
what's the difference on this? Like, they don't have a smoked salmon that's not streamlined, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, exactly. So now they're expanding the smoked salmon dial, which honestly it's more like a chocolate dial than a smoked salmon.
Yeah, I was gonna say
But
this looks a lot more brown than salmon. Like salmon, the usage of the word salmon is becoming ridiculous at this point.
well, yeah, I think rose was really the color. It was never salmon, and then that just kind of we never got it back. We lost the plot.
I mean, even rose is, I don't see it. Like, you mean rose gold, I'm guessing?
Yeah, well, the dial, like some salmon dials would be more rose. This to me
But
is a
it's pink.
chocolate fume, a brown
The
fume
thing
dial.
that throws me off with salmon is that like it's supposed to be a hue of pink, and now none of these salmons have any kind of pink hue to them. You know what I'm saying? Am I wrong in thinking that? Is that not what salmon should be? Not pink pink, but it should have like a hue of pink to this. And
Yeah,
I
like
don't
a
see it.
rose, a rosiness or something like that.
Well, you say rosy, and I think a little bit more red. That's why I get confused when people say rose, because rose gold is
If you can say the word B,
orangish, and this is orangish. Like it looks like the hands are rose. So then, by your definition, this is what it should be, because it looks similar to the hand. But I think salmon should have a little bit more of a pinkish hue. Am I wrong? And just tell me that I'm wrong, so that I can reframe my brain and what
No,
salmon as a color is.
no, I think salmon should have a little bit more of a pinkish hue. I think you're correct. I think this is a chocolate. Like I'm gonna go to Chrono 24, and I'm gonna just type in salmon dial, and we'll see what pops up from Chrono.
Dan says that everybody goes smoked dial this year. Is it me or does the date look strange? The aperture looked a little different, but I don't know. Were you talking about the numbers used, like the font that was used, Tan?
I think it's with the perpetuals is always a larger aperture. I do feel like they did something different to this aperture, but they've always used kind of like that semi-modern font. Um,
Can I say something? Moser makes the most boring perpetual calendar, and I get that it's simplicity and all that stuff, but it just, well, go ahead.
Well, I don't know if it's the most boring. It's the most clean, you know. So that's the thing. Do you want a perpetual calendar that's giving you all the information, or do you want a perpetual calendar that's a little bit more readable? What's going on, Kesselwitz? Hope all is well out on the West Coast over there at Happy Jewelers. So do you want a complicated looking perpetual? Do you want something a little bit more slimmed down
I
that's
mean, if
more
I'm
readable?
paying for perpetual, I think I want something that looks a little more complicated,
Okay, that's fair.
personally, you know. But I guess you're right. I guess it depends on the type of person. I just don't think that a lot of people are using their watch as a perpetual calendar, like that they're living their lives by what the watch says, you know, because they have an iPhone, you know.
So Julia Caesar asked, "How is this watch a perpetual calendar?" And I will tell you how.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this little nublet right here, I'll zoom in. Yeah, this little nublet right here is your month indicator, and it indicates that by pointing to the baton or hour marker. So this dial right now is saying December 12th, and then when you flip it over, this is your leap year. So
So
it is.
that's the issue I have is that they get away with making a perpetual calendar where you cannot see the leap year unless you take the watch off.
Exactly. And you're also sans day. So most perpetual calendars will show you the day as well. So it doesn't show you the day. So technically it's a date, month, leap year perpetual calendar, but it is a perpetual calendar and
But
it
it
is
has
one
the
that you
leap year
can go
function.
forward and
Is that what
backwards.
Is that what count? Like if it has a leap year, then it gives its credence to being
Well, if
perpetual.
it calculates it, if it accurately does the short and long months for the 4 years, then you could call it a perpetual calendar. It doesn't correlate to the amount of information that's on the dial.
Okay, that makes sense.
You know,
Thank you for clarifying.
that's what I'm here for.
I stand by my statement that it's just a little bit lackluster, especially given the price that I'm guessing it's going to cost. Because this is like 60, 70, probably more.
It is I think 61, 64,000. This is 18 karat white gold. $64,000.
This is why they don't pay me the big bucks. Um, you know. Now, I feel that that's a reasonably priced perpetual calendar, um, but it just doesn't give me, like, you know, when you look at a Longa perpetual or a Paddock, it kind of makes you feel like, damn, man, like they did all sorts of crazy stuff, and look at the dial. Whereas this is like, wow, this is beautiful. But wait, what? The little nub tells me the month, you know, like, and Caesar makes a great point. It's like, when I look at it, I can't tell you that it's a perpetual calendar, and I think that that sometimes can cause an issue. But if you know, you know. So it's a duality of man.
The duality, man. How many view miles do you want to give it?
Oh,
You're
wait,
welcome, Caesar.
can I say
Right.
that I think that, no, it doesn't count. Skydwell is annual, not perpetual, right?
Correct.
Still better than this. On the scale of a mall, not the same watch. I get it. 55. Not really moving the needle here.
Yeah, I go 60 miles on this one. I think it's a beautiful watch. I think on the
You pad your
secondary.
stats, dude. You just add 5 to 10 per mall on anything I say.
No, I think this is I think this is a good watch. I think I'd spend my money on it. I just wouldn't spend my money on it anywhere near retail. But if I could pick this up in the 30s, I'd pick this up. I think it's a good looking watch.
How many pieces total?
Not limited.
Yeah,
Not limited.
50 per malls.
All right, 50 miles on that one. All right, let's keep it moving. Should we just get into it? I think let's do one more new watch. They got new Fiber Liebe. Let's just do this. Armstrong dual time GMT Resonance Tremblage. What's up, Blount Panic? Yo, what up, CQ? You the boss, looking like Rick Ross. Anyone ever told you that? Yes, sir. And I've been I used to do Rick Ross back to back on Halloween's, and I've contained the beard. When I was in Dubai, the beard was like full on Rick Ross. And when I would I enter the room, I'd play, you the boss. You the boss.
Oh, I thought you were gonna like. I'm the biggest boss that you've seen thus far. I'm the
Nah,
biggest.
that's for after hours. But in the daytime,
okay.
just like All right, so
Yo,
we got a
it's
new.
funny. I'm looking at the like suns on that, and I just think Casamigos. I know this is nothing to do with Casamigos. I'm
Oh
not an
wow,
alcoholic. I swear to God, I don't drink alcohol unless it's the weekend. This is just Casamigos.
wow, very Casamigos there. So Armstrong Resonance is Hale is one of the better resonances right now. A lot of people like the technology better. I love this variation of it the best. I just love this gold dial. I love the hammered finish they have going
How many
on the
man
sub
hours?
dials. Who knows? Tons. And then there's man hours on the dials, and then the movement. There's R&D in the movement as well.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's funky watch. All right, this is where you're gonna hate it. Let's see how much this costs.
Well, yeah, it's
Oh, 100,000 Swiss franc. Not too crazy.
yeah. I mean,
Limited edition to 5 pieces.
I just don't think of Arm& Strong in that like price point often, but you know, it looks like it could cost $100,000 at least.
There are many brands that dare say would make this a $250,000 watch in
Well, if it
current.
was made by R.W. Smith, it'd be $1 million watch, clearly.
Hey, you don't talk bad about
Oh
RW
no,
Smith.
I'm
It
never
would be.
moving off that shit, bro. I'm
Hey, he's a
never.
nice guy. You might meet him one day, and then you're gonna be like,
Hey, and I'll say like, sir, you are an
"Why so
amazing
posh?"
person. Can you teach me how to do the things that you've done? That's all.
No, you gotta go apprentice. You gotta go to the Isle of Man and apprentice.
No, I'm not trying to learn watchmaking. I'm talking about marketing.
All right, let's give this a quick Vuitton score and then move on to the GPHG.
Yeah, 65. This looks better than the R.W. Smith.
Wow. All right, that's I'll give it a 65 as well. But that's a higher score than I think. 65 miles in this one. I do think it's a beautiful watch. Actually, I think 100,000 is a good price point for what you get in here. Limited to 5 pieces. I think this is a cool piece if it's up your alley. All right, let's
Oh,
get.
Gen G gave it 80. Ooh, that's really high.
Ooh, Gen G coming with the 80 V miles. What's happening, Gen G? Hope your morning is going on. So, GPHG is the ceremony is in November. We have the finalists for the different categories, and I'm gonna go down them. I want to start with the Hodinkee article and move to their website because their website it's all right centered. So my head's covering everything. So until I have to, I'll just be honest with you. Like I'll just be honest with you guys. It's a weird website where everything is right centered. So we're gonna use a normal website like Hodinkee and go down some of the nominees here. And RIP Mr. Hagman, Jean-Pierre Hagman there. All right, so we're starting with the ladies' watch. So there were a bunch more nominees, and these are the finalists that the GPHG jurors will be voting on. And here's a category for ladies' watch. Can you guys see everything? Yeah, you guys can see everything.
It's weird to me that AP just put up a regular Royal Oak. But I mean, because like everything else here looks like something that people thought out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Am I wrong in saying that?
No, you're not wrong. So there's an AP Royal Oak Mini Frosted Golden Quartz, a Gerald
What's
Genta,
frosted?
Gentissima, Fire Opal, Louis Vuitton Tambour Convergence Platinum, Piaget 60, Tiffany & Co. Bird on Rock, Legacy Tanzanite.
I'm guessing that the Vuitton is the most expensive watch here.
No, the fucking excuse me,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Tiffany with the Tiffany and Co with the large with the diamond encrusted bird,
Yeah,
the
I learned
diamond
how to
encrusted
get,
case,
Learn how to make CQ break character.
and the very large Tanzanite
Tanzanite.
that has a good bit of fire on it as well. That would be the most expensive piece. The Vuitton up there for sure. The Tambour is probably next because this is full diamonds. Whoo.
I mean, the Tiffany Co's nice, but it's just like it goes back to like Van Cleef, Cartier, Diamond. Like, what are we judging this by? Aesthetic, or are we judging it by what? Like, how are these typically judged? Is my question.
Oh wait, I think there's a description. As described by the GPHG, feminine watches comprising the following indications only: hours, minutes, seconds, date, day of month, power reserve, indicator, and that may potentially be adorned with a maximum of 9 carats of gem setting. So it's very broad.
Hi. Good afternoon, Daraj, or good morning.
Good evening, Daraj. What did Gen
Good
G
evening.
says Tambour for the win. I have to agree with her.
I mean, as far as like just being different, I would agree that like out of all the watches here, it looks really cool. The function's dope. I'll ride with the Tambour on that one.
Yeah, I think the Tambour. I think the Genta looks great, and I think this might take it home. But I think the Tambour is the best. Tiffany & Co is awesome, and I personally love Tanzanite, but I think we could have did a little bit better with this bird situation. I don't know. I think maybe I'm just in person. It probably looks fire, but the Tambour is the winner. That's what we're putting our money on. Let's not proclaim any winners here. Let's move on to the best ladies complication as described by GPHG. Feminine watches that are remarkable in terms of their mechanical creativity and complexity. These watches may feature all kinds of classical and or innovative complications and indications. For example, annual calendar, perpetual calendar, equation of time, complex moon phases, tourbillon, chronograph, all of that BS, and do not fit the definition of ladies and mechanical exception categories. And we have, let me just read the list. We have an Audemars Piguet Code 1159 Flying Tourbillon, Chopard Imperial Four Seasons, Frank Mueller Round Triple Mystery, Gucci Interlock, Hermes Cut Le Timp Suspendu, and a Jacob & Co Mystery Tourbillon.
Wow, that Hermes looks like a streamliner so bad.
Yeah, it does. So the thing with the Hermes is suspense time. So when you hit the button, the hours and minutes go to 12 o'clock in this little recess here. So that's a complication if anybody was wondering, because I was.
So it's like a Pigeon, where it's like it goes back. Once you click the button, it'll go to the correct
The
time.
accurate time, exactly. So if you want to suspend time, if you don't want to think about, you don't want to think about it, things that are going on. I think everything else there is tourbillon. This Jacob & Co is just like, get it out of here. I agree with the guy in the writer in the Hodinkee article who's just like, why is this even included? It's just too much.
Pay for
It's
play,
just too
baby.
much.
He definitely paid to have that.
Oh no, and GPHG, this is. There are a lot of rumblings about the quality of the GPHG jurors and things like that. It was easy. It's very seemingly easier to get in, so a lot of people are wondering the quality. And when you see a lot of pieces that get chosen, you're like, how did you even get here? I honestly think the Hermes has to take it for me.
I mean,
The Code 1159 is nice.
man, but it's too plain. And then the Yuli Snardin Freak is kind of like I want to like it, but then it's just like too much. But I guess it really is a Hermes streamliner.
Yeah, Hermes for the win here. AP's nice, Chopard's nice. They're all nice, but in terms of a complication beyond a tourbillon, this is really the only one that's
What's poppin' Trap Vision and Duke and Brissington? Julius
going
Caesar
on,
says
boys.
GPHG is kind of like the JD Power Award for cars. What's the JD Power Award? Is it just like
So it's like, is it one where like Ford wins the award for best truck every year, like, and the usual suspects always win.
But
And
it's all like
it's
a
pay for play.
advertising, isn't it? Like this is a good way to get your watch talked about. Like if nobody's talking about Jacob and Co., you pay to have your watch included in a little thing. Am I wrong
Well,
in
yes.
thinking not like it's probably not that, but like that's how
So,
I'm envisioning it.
so it's supposed to be like the Oscars, right? And previously, the people who were on the jury were people all who had, were scholars in the watch space or leaders of brands or journalists who again were like on like scholarship level in their knowledge and their appreciation of watches. They've opened it up in the past couple of years, or more social influencers, social media type people are getting in, and some people, Watch Collecting Lifestyle, did a really good article on this and what we're looking for and what we want from our journalists in the space. So it gets kind of a little muddy, where now you could definitely see it's a place where you pay to get nominated, and then usually your influence rides you into the finalist realm, and you have to create something really really special to win and not be part of the obvious crew.
Going on, SE. Um,
Simon Nessie.
is it wrong? Would it be wrong of me to say that we're kind of going towards a lobbyist model for watches, where
No,
it's people
we're there.
spending money to just market the hell out of things? Wait, can you please include me in the auction? I'll make sure I pay. I'm not saying that that happens in auctions, but it
It
probably does.
does.
And it's just like all of these things to kind of set bars that aren't really existent, you know. And I say that because when you look at that Jacob and Co. and that ladies complication, it just screams somebody paid a lot of money to be part of this list.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we are in that world, and let's not pretend that that didn't exist, but it's changing. Before,
It's
you know,
becoming the forefront of it. Like back in the day, it may have been like some one or two people like, hey, I'd want to get into this space. Whereas now it's like, forget about making something great, which I do think there is a lot of great watchmaking. A lot of people are like, well, let's spend money on the marketing first. It just goes back to like what you were saying yesterday with that one watch where it scales up in price the longer you wait to buy it. It's like, what?
yeah, because we're now in a world where you can sell it before you make it, and that was a very rare thing. You know, you didn't have a bunch of people doing what FP Jordan did, right? Where it's like, hey, help me produce this. Yes, you did, but not in mass, and not like making Hodinky articles and doing press runs about watches that have never been fully produced or prototype watches in such a way. I'm just pulling this thing up in the background. So yes, it's the world has changed in such a way that now the brands don't really know how to connect to their community. So you're going to people who seemingly have the influence, like influencers, and places like GPHG have become a place where I need to work my best to wiggle in there. Well, usually your usual old guard would be in there, your few newcomers. Now you're just seeing some pieces in there where like you look at this list and it's like, are these really the best complicated watches that came out this year for ladies? You know, I personally
The
don't
code
know.
11 being there alone makes me feel like. So you just made a
Exactly.
tourbillon and you put diamonds on the lugs, and now this gets to be in a lady's best complication award. It just feels kind of baseless. I don't
Yeah,
know.
as well. Duke of Rissington says GPHG Academy members is now made up of watch YouTubers and Insta influencers. Makes no sense to me. How will the greats like Roger Schmidt win with such a compromised voting bloc who prefer hype? And this is very, very true. Even me myself, like I remember I really, really wanted to be part of the GPHG, and then I figured out what was going on, or I saw what was going on. It's like now, of course, I'd love to be, it'd be fun, but it's like it doesn't hold the same weight as it once. Like to me, that would have been like being a lot in there. To me, would have been you've made it. You know, you've made it. You're one of us, and now it's like it's it's not as exclusive. Duraj says yes, the competition looks spot. Duke of Risen says I read the comments on the Hodinky burnaround watch with the escalating price, and people were justifying the price due to the ever increasing price of gold, a little 20K per year for gold increase. It's wild. It's wild what people will say to justify themselves. It's wild what people will say and say like, oh, people are just bashing and it's just drama. But like, you cannot peg it towards gold price, because what happens when the gold price recedes a little bit? No brand is gonna give you a refund. What happens when the tariffs goes away? No brand is gonna give you a refund. By the way, if tariffs go away, the importers do get a refund on that money plus interest, right? And I don't want to go conspiracy talk here, but Howard Lutnick's investment bank is betting against tariffs going away. You know, so there's so many different things going on where people are just being they're just doing whatever to justify themselves to buy a hype watch or a watch that they think, buy what you want, but don't say they're justified in that. They could be like everybody else and just send you an email saying the price is increasing every year. Like everybody else. You don't need to just be like, just to let you know, if you don't run right now and plunk down 150 USD, you're gonna have to pay more. Like, I don't know. Sorry, my rant is over. Anyways, check out Watch Collecting Lifestyle. Good writers over there. And he did a great article from the editor, an open letter to the Foundation of Horology and Grand Prix, GPHG. And he just does a really good breakdown of what he thinks watch journalism should be and what it should look like. Really, really good read. Now let's get back to what we're talking about. All right, now we go to the time only category. This watches displaying only analog time indications, hours, minutes, seconds, by means of 2 or 3 hands on a solid dial, devoid of any other type of indication, complication, or gem setting. So we have the Daniel Roth Extra Plat Rose Gold, the Ming Project 21, Parmigiani Fleurier Tonda PF Micro-Rotor, Piaget Andy Warhol Clou de Paris edition, the Rule Pages, and the Tasaki Face of Tasaki Black Mother of Pearl. Mouthful. The CQ Awards, opportunity awaits. Diraj says that. I think we might do a CQ Awards. If you guys are gonna, you guys will be the voting committee. I think we could do that at the end of the year. Maybe we'll do that for the holiday wrap-up episode.
Which one was it in the bottom left?
The bottom left is gonna be the Raoul Pages piece.
I've never heard of that one before.
Yeah, he's a newer independent watchmaker who's doing great things.
Piaget just needs to talk to the guys at Piaget because they keep submitting the weird ones. Daniel Roth and the Parmigiani for me.
Yeah, it's really between those two. The Tasaki I think is very interesting, but I just don't think it can win this one for me, even though I'd love to see that in person. The Rule Pages is cool, but like we're just talking, we're not going about the watchmaking there. We just want to look at aesthetics. The Piaget beats the Raoul Pages on just straight aesthetics for me.
Well, the Sasaki should be hit with a cease and desist because that shit looks like a reversal. Like they didn't even try to make it.
No, I'm sure again under the hood, and there's a lot of reason why it should be respected. It's between the Daniel Roth and the Piaget, and I have to give it to the Parmigiani, and I have to give it to the Parmigiani because I just love the Tonda PFs. And the Daniel Roth.
Genji says Piaget for the win. Interestingly enough.
Yeah, Genji's on the money. And the Daniel Roth is basically a reproduction of Daniel Roth from many years ago, so it's hard for me to give it a win.
I'm confused. Is this just a Bulgari Daniel Roth? And that's
Well,
why...
now it's an LVMH Daniel Roth. It's not, they separated it from Bulgari.
But I'm confused. So is it getting a negative ding because it's not the
Well,
old
it's a
Daniel
negative
Roth?
thing because, like, is it really a new watch? Is it really a watch that should be,
Oh, I didn't realize that it's based on
yeah, because they still kind of reintroduce Daniel Roth back with some of the older designs. So it's a great watch, but I personally give it the Parmigiani. I give it a strong number 2. The Parmigiani. Oh, Genji says Piaget. Oh, I'm mixing up my Piaget and Parmigiani. I like it. I just don't know if in this category. I mean, if this was a real awards show, the Piaget would win because it's a little bit out there, I think. Everything else is a little bit more tame. And Genji says the Piaget is a take on an old model. You're right. I'm just knocking Daniel Roth just to knock it, to be honest with you. Tuco Vicente says Piaget is that one weird friend with a gem collecting hobby. Like, bro, we get it. You love stones. Straight up, how many amethysts are you going to show me, bro? Parmigiani and Piaget seem to be the winners there. Let's keep it going. All right, now best men's watch. Masculine watches comprising the following indications only: hours, minutes, seconds, date, day of the month, power reserve indicator, classic moon phases, and that may potentially feature a digital retrograde display or be adorned with a maximum of 9 carats in gem setting. Chopard LUC Quattro Mark IV, Garrick S3 Deadbeat Seconds, Grand Seiko Spring Drive UFA, Laurent Ferrier Classic Auto Horizon, Urban Jurgensen UJ2, and the Zenith GFG Caliber 135. These are your contestants. That is controversial, Genji. She says Zenith for the win. If Pooley was here, he'd go Chopard. This is tough. I like that show part. I like that show part a lot.
Which one's the show part? The one on the top left?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't look like a Chapard. That's why I couldn't figure it out. It's not the Zenith. It's not the Urban Jurgensen. What the hell is the Garrick? It's just Lord Furier looks really nice.
Yeah, I almost want to give it to Lauren Ferrier.
But I think the Chopard, if we're just going based on aesthetics and like just it looks very nice just looking at it. The Garrick isn't bad. It's
But
just not
let
my
me,
cup of tea. That's I'm
yeah, I think the Garrick in this particular category, it was kind of set up. No, I just want to see the watch. I just have a feeling that we can find a good monochrome article with some good pictures. There we go. This is actually a tough one. Here's some live shots of that Chopard though. I think it's a Chopard. Duke of Brissenden says Laurent Ferrier is a sleeper. You know that movement is fire when you turn the watch around. I agree. I agree. But something about this Chopard, man. I wish there were different shades of So my only knock on this is that it's a manual wind.
Oh, come on, Impact. Yeah, we started a little bit early today.
What's going on, Pack? Yeah, we started a little bit early. Apologies. That's why Fimal is in here. He's gonna pop in any second and blast me. But it's okay. Thank you guys for always tuning in whenever we pop in. You guys are absolutely the best. Let me know if you guys would be interested in a Sunday football stream. By the way, I have some long form content that's coming down. I have an interview that was pre-recorded with Watch Jabs Tunji. That's pretty good about the DC watch collecting community. Also have an interview with LeBlanco, founder. That will be a live interview where you guys can interact as well. And then we're going to continue that live interview format, and we're going to upgrade some things so you guys can jump on and interact with us as well. So a lot of good things in the works, all because you guys tune in every time you come on. You guys are the best chat out there. Let's make a decision here, Johnny. What do we think?
I guess Chopard, you know. I prefer the Laurent Ferrier as a brand, but like if I'm just looking at this without names on the watches, I'd probably go Chopard personally.
All right, Chopard is a winner. I think Genji is not wrong about the Zenith. I just know that the price point is crazy. I know I shouldn't really be thinking about that here. But straw number 2. The UJ doesn't even like resonate with me in this lineup. I go Garrick over this UJ. I'm waiting for Grand Seiko fanboy to be like, you didn't talk about the Grand Seiko. All right, men's complication. Masculine watches that are remarkable in terms of their mechanical creativity and complexity. These watches may feature all kinds of classic and or innovative complications and indications: world time, dual time, annual calendar, perpetual calendar, equation of time, complex moon phases, or any other types of model, and do not fit by definition in the men's and mechanical exceptions category. This is going to be a tough one too. We got the AP Royal Oak Perpetual Calendar 150th anniversary, Beauvais 1822 Recital 30, Chopard LUC Lunar 1, Louis Vuitton X Vuitton. I'm not going to say all that. Parmigiani Fleurier Toric QP, Urban Jurgensen UG3. So we got some perpetuals, 1, 2, 3. We got a good world timer with the Beauvais, and I forgot exactly what the Kyrie does, but it does a bunch of different things. These are your contestants.
I don't like the Beauvais, I can just remove that one from it. For me. There's something about
I
Urban
understand. I understand.
Jurgensen that just is like
So,
somebody. I remember when we were in the office back in the day. Somebody was like Urban Jurgensen, and it was just like it stuck with me. I always thought of it being like some kind of fucking lotion, and then the watch itself never really spoke to me. And I guess it's a little bit more of the. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you might have to like watches that have the '90s and older aesthetic to like Urban Jurgensen. It seems like it's a little bit more of a vintage inspired brand. Am I wrong in saying that?
well, yes, it's based on a brand that's been around for quite a long time. This case variation that they did is very unlike Urban Jurgensen's that we've seen. They took away the teardrop lugs. So the case and the aesthetic is very, very different, in my opinion, for what somebody would want from an Urban Jurgensen if they were collecting the previous brand that was around not too long ago. So it's a very expensive watch. It's a perpetual calendar, so it does all these good things. But like when you look at the field, this doesn't come close to even the Parmigiani. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't come close to that LUC. That Royal Oak smokes most of these watches out of the
Yeah,
water, anyways.
it feels like
So
it's the AP versus the LUC. The Parmigiani is very understated. Like it's a nice watch, but something about it just feels like it's all just squished together. Not in a way of, it's so weird. It's like minimalistic, but at the same time stuffed within the subdials. So I think I'm going with the AP, but the show part is such a close second.
yeah, that show part is really good. Tan says, "Come on, CQ manual whining is not a big deal." You're right, Tan. It's not. I just wanted to find one negative thing to say about the show part, and that was the only negative thing to say. But I personally don't believe manual whining is the biggest deal. It's part of life. Gen G says, "Gotta bounce. Workout time. Have a great day." Thank you for jumping in, Gen G. You are always the best, and often you're always first. First in our hearts, always.
Limal, are you saying that they're ex people from World War II buying the Jurgen Jurgensens? Is that what you're saying? The losers of that war are buying up these watches? Funny,
Let's
funny.
just see what's on the market in terms of Urban Jurgensen right now. I see. I just like these watches better. Of course, you don't have the complications, but like, you got that vintage aesthetic. The teardrop lugs just really just everything. You got a nice gear shade dial. I don't know. They should have just made these again. I don't know why they could not just make these watches again, and do what Daniel Roth is doing, like something like this. Make it again. Make it cost 100 grand. I don't care. It's beautiful. Anyways, let's pick one. I think it's the AP. To be honest with you, I don't know how you beat that AP. The Carry Vuitton LV piece is amazing. The Chopard is amazing, but this is Royal Oak at its best, at its finest.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I'm going to go with the AP as well.
Tan says the Toric is a beautiful watch in real life. I agree. I haven't gotten a chance to see him in person, but from all the live shots, they look really, really good. So we're gonna give APR bet on that one. Let's keep it moving. All right, now we're in the iconic category. Watches stemming from an emblematic collection or model that has been exercising a lasting influence on watchmaking history and the watch market for more than 20 years, or offering a contemporary reinterpretation. Interesting lineup, interesting category. We have an Anderson Genève Communication 45, Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Perpetual Calendar, Brigade Classique Subscription 2025, the Bulgari X MBNF Serpenti, Parmigiani Tonda PF GMT, Piaget Andy Warhol with a beautiful, I think that's a tiger's eye, stone dial.
What's going on, Watch Addict? Welcome on in.
What's going on, Watch Addict? We try to cook it up, So this is tough because you're not just thinking about how beautiful the watch is. You're thinking about the impact that it will have going forward, and maybe even from before. So why Anderson Geneva is important. He has been making world timer watches for a very long time. This is like an engraved dial that has gold leaf and a lot of good things going on. Not the best picture of this dial.
Not the best picture of this watch.
Of this watch, excuse me. Yes.
No. I'm just saying, like, I'm agreeing with you. It doesn't face us full on. I don't know why they chose that photo.
Let me see if
The
I can
AP
find a
looks
picture.
very AP. Like, I don't see how that. What makes this something that people will go on to remember for the rest of their lives? I don't know.
I think it's AP, so it's easy for it to just like be in there, and it's
They
the
should just
I
lose
think
because that's so lazy of them, in my opinion.
yeah.
Julius Caesar mentions the spaceship watch is timeless and should be the winner. I think that it is the most character, or has the most character. Um, I There's something with Piaget and them just submitting nothing but weird watches. I guess it's the aesthetic.
They're all because they're all Andy Warhol.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, the Andy Warhol collection.
I'm not a big
So it's
fan of
special
that
art.
case style, so maybe that's why I'm just kind of out on all these Piagets. But none of these, besides the spaceship watch, really make me feel the Breguet being a one hand and like all that, but it just looks like every Breguet. So I think I'm with Julius Caesar and saying that like I think the spaceship one at least has the most like if we're going by iconic, that's the category.
Yes.
Feel like that one. You're right. The world timer above it probably is similar, but everything else on this list just looks like things we've seen prior.
Yeah, the brigade is important, like chronologically, and like so if you're really appreciating of traditional watchmaking, I guess you give it
Exactly.
brigade. But the MBNF, like
Oh,
there's
Julius
nothing
Caesar said
else.
he's trolling me. Well, I'm sticking with it though. I'm sticking with my spaceship iconic.
I do think it's a really cool watch, that MBNF Serpenti. It's such a tough category. Like I almost want to take the lazy answer.
Take the lazy answer because I took the crazy one. Might as well meet on opposite ends of
Well,
the
I know the
spectrum.
AP is gonna win. You know what I mean? Like if you go Oscars, the Grammy rules, it's gonna be between the AP or the Brigade to win. Like who they're gonna
Brigade's
let win?
clean, man. I
I'll go
just
Brigade. I'll go Brigade.
yeah,
Brigade
but
deserves some
he
love.
just is. It's just what's the difference between the one that we saw here and the one that was prior? Like the skeletonization. Okay.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next category. Tourbillon, mechanical watches comprising at least one tourbillon. Additional indications or complications are admissible. Got a good lineup here. Arnold & Son, Constance Force, Tourbillon 11, Bulgari, Octafinissimo, Ultra Tourbillon, Chapek Antarctique, Tourbillon Glacier Blue, Femme Al Hout, Mobius, and a Louis Vuitton Tambour Taiko Spin Time. Oh, another Urban Jurgensen UJ1 250th
No,
anniversary.
Urban Jurgensen
Yeah.
opened their
Yeah.
wallet and said,
Gotta pay the
"Please,
cost to be the boss.
please let us play. Let us play with the big boys because we've seen an Urban Jurgensen on damn near one, like what is it,
Hey,
five for
listen,
eight?
I'm happy to take some Urban Jurgensen cash and shut the F up and become a pom poms UJ. You know,
And live in Argentina.
I'll live wherever. Well, it's like a Danish thing. They got a lot of there's
Oh
fish and
damn, Duke of Brissington beat me to it because I really like the Famal Hood Mobius. Wait, oh he's saying it's a blatant copy. Never mind.
Wait, Duke of Riciton says the Fam Al Khud Mobius is a blatant copy of the world's best-selling fitness tracking watch, the Xiaomi Smart Band. Look it up. They've been making the smartwatch for
Well,
years.
here, let me say something here, Duke of Brissington. As somebody who's been making content recently, I found that when I try to do the most creative and most influential content ever, it flops. But you know what always cooks for me? Remaking somebody else's content better. And I think that that's what they did here. Because it's not who did it first, it's who did it best.
No,
And
let's see what he's talking about. Uh, a new
oh,
segment.
I mean,
Watch
it's kind
Court
of,
is in session. Dun,
I mean, it's kind of
dun.
like the St. Alps. I always mess that one up. The one from Moser.
But they said it. Moser told you what they were doing.
True.
So let's pull this up. So we're now having Watch Court. The Duke of Rissington has filed a
Oh,
complaint
wait, hold on. I don't think
against.
that anybody's going against him. I think.
We'll just let's have the session. Too late. Court has been called. Judge CQ and Judge Retired Guy
I mean,
are
this
in
shit is
session here.
an Apple Watch. So did they come out with this style before Apple? Like, well,
Oh,
like
but he's saying the exact shape. The court might find reason here.
I mean, I'm getting it. Look, I'm picking up what you're putting down as far as the shape, What's going on, Goldfinger? You know.
What's happening, Goldfinger? What's
But
going
like,
on,
I think
Bridget?
that we should give them some credit for making a mechanical watch in this shape. Like, I think that we're throwing the baby out with the bathwater if we're just like, well, it's designed. Hmm?
I'm sure he's just messing around, but this
No,
is
I know.
legitimately the shape is the
I
shape.
mean, but bro, you love the Streamliner that has the fucking Quartz smartwatch shit, and that is like the worst thing I saw all year. And like, I don't know.
I want to get one of these for my mom. These are cool.
You torture statistics, they'll tell you whatever you want to hear. You know, I'm sure that we can find all sorts of copies of this, that, and the third. Now, it does suck that they picked a Chinese fitness watch to model their watch after, but I still think that that's the best looking watch in this category here, personally. And I'm probably wrong. Go ahead, flame me up in the comments in the chat. I'm probably wrong. It's Mobin time, baby. It's Mobius.
Let's just get some real life pictures.
It's not
'Cause
bad, man.
'cause I
It's
honestly do
small.
think.
It's small. It looks like it would not look good on you.
Oh no, well I mean I got big
Pause.
paws.
And that's
All right, so first of all, just the court rules that some IP was infringed there, but not enough. So we can let that pass. Court is now closed.
Duke says that he rests his case. I do think he made his point that the case design was clearly taken from that company. But he does agree that the engineering is a marvel.
Yeah, I'll be honest. This is one of the cooler watches I've seen in quite a long time.
That's all I'm saying, bro. And you know me, like I don't usually die on a hill, but this is different at least.
Yeah. Like this is what's the price on these?
It's gonna
Because if this is anything like,
gotta be over 80, no?
I have a feeling it's under. I might be.
Is that a tourbillon at the top?
That is a tourbillon.
I mean,
Give me a
something.
price. I know
It's got to be over 80.
$32,000.
Wow.
See, and like I knew it. I knew it was gonna be crazy. Let me just double check. 32,000 in stainless steel. 33,000 in the amorphous zirconium, and biaxial tourbillon. Now somebody might say, the tourbillon isn't the whatever, but if this was a Richard Mille, this would be $2 million.
I mean, for the price, I think that it's a decent watch. 30 something thousand for a
No,
tourbillon.
for 33, I think this is amazing. I think this is a really, really amazing piece. So let's go back to our list here after we fawned after it. So this is actually tough because the Fat Malhoot almost. Oh, is this a strike-in time too? The Fat Malhoot might take it immediately, but the Louis Vuitton, the spin time is a really cool piece as well. Those two are the ones that are doing it for me. The UJ doesn't chart. The Arnold Sun I like. The Bulgari I like, but I like other Bulgaris a little bit better. The Chapek.
It doesn't look like a Chapek, so that doesn't help. Or like what I always. Well, wait, what am I talking about? It does look like a Chapek.
The problem is because of the Christopher Wards, now I'm seeing Christopher Ward and Chapek, even though it's because the designer jumped over.
I prefer when they don't have like that busy of a dial on the Chapeks. That's probably what it is. Like the bridge spanning from 3 to 9 just not for me.
Duke of Rissington says the LV spin time is theater on the wrist. I do agree with that. These do jump, by the way. They're instantaneous jumping cubes. So it's between these two, ladies and gentlemen.
You know my vote.
Let's give it to the Fat Malhoot, man. I think that Chat Vision says all we're missing is the People's Court theme music. I'm working on that. I was thinking about it as well. But I think it's a Fat Malhoot for this one. Odds are this will be the winner. If this wins, we know the game is rigged.
What? If what wins?
If the UJ wins, you know the game is rigged.
Oh, bro. Oh, brother.
I don't care if they wheel out Jack Forster to talk to me about how legendary the Tourbillon is. All right, let's keep it going. Mechanical exception. Watches featuring a special mechanism such as innovative or sophisticated display, an automaton, a striking, or any other acoustic function, a special escapement or belt-driven movement, or compromising another original and exceptional horological concept. Armin and Charm Dual Time GMT Resonance, Gruber 14 Nano Fujian, has been a Monin school watch subscription. Louis Vuitton Escale U Pont Neuf, Lucas Soprano, Derek Pratt, Remontoire de Elegant. So that round, Van Cleef and Arpels, Lady Arpels, Bow de Amoureux Automate. I need to work on my French.
Oh, we talked about the watch that I
Yeah,
like the most in this. It's the Louis Vuitton.
it hands down the winner is Louis Vuitton. And this is where it's not about the name, it's about the money they spent to make the automaton work. The birds chirp, the compass here twirls around, the trunks open up. It's all hand painted enamel. This is a famous bridge in France as well. It's the winner. Plus, it's gem set around it. It's the winner. It is a clear winner. The Van Cleefs, these will always be very special to me because they're just always depicting lovely romantic moments. I think that's a very special watch. The Lucas Soprano Derek Pratt under the hood is amazing. Really good watchmaker there. Same thing with the Hazen Monin. These guys are really awesome up and comers. This basically is an hour striker. Hour striker, minutes, seconds, hours there. And then you got the Gruber Forgeron, which is nice, but just hard to compete in this category with this thing that is not only beautiful, but mechanically amazing as well. Duke and Rissington, let's give it to the fam. Hasman and Monin are young watchmakers. Hasman is 25 years old or something. Crazy work from them. Yes, it's really crazy that they're producing these pieces at the young ages that they are. This is their school piece, so they're going to be in GPHG for quite a long time. But I think it's easy for us to give it to the Louis Vuitton pocket watch on this one. What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what I was going to.
Trap Vision says, so if you had 30K plus, what are you picking from this list? Which list in particular? Is he from this list?
I don't think 30K gets us in any of these. Well,
Well,
if they get us the Mobius,
yeah, so the Mobius is the obvious choice, right? 'Cause everything here is going to be very close to 100, if not over 100. So this is an easy choice because this is honestly, like, you could wear all these to the watch meetup. People are going to rip this off of your arm to see what this is, People do the same with the Louis Vuitton. The others will kind of blend in the background a little bit. All right, so mechanical exception we're giving to a Louis Vuitton pocket watch. I think that's just a beautiful piece. Let's keep it going. We're almost to an hour, and we are into the chronographs. Mechanical watches comprising at least one chronograph. And we have an Anderson Genève split-second chronograph world time, Angelus chronograph, telemeter yellow gold, AP Royal Oak, Concept split-second chronograph GMT, H1Z Streamliner Alpine Driver's Edition, don't know how that one got here, Louis Monet 1816 chronograph, and the Ming 20.01 Series 5 chronograph.
This has been my least favorite category already.
Yeah.
The Angelus aesthetically looks, yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
Duke of Rissington says, Chat Vision 3D is a baller because he asked if you had a minimum budget of 30K, usually say max budget. Baller vibes, Chat. He is a big baller. Big baller. This is a rough category.
I mean, part of me wants to, if I'm going by aesthetic only, Angelus has like the cleanest looking one to me. I'm not a fan of the AP at all. You know how I feel about streamliners. Louis Monet, I like the Louis Monet. It just looks like not a Louis Monet. Am I wrong in saying that? Like it looks.
Yeah, because he made it really traditional to be after the first chronograph that was ever invented by Illuminate. So because of that, it looks a little bit basic with this dial format. Needs
Also
a few different
the
dials.
strap. I don't like it on the bracelet. There's something about the bracelet that's throwing it off to me.
Yeah, it's especially this picture. It doesn't do the best. I love Louis Vuitton. I just don't love this particular variation. I'm sure future ones will do a little bit better. I wanted to vote for this Anderson Genève, but we talked about this on one episode, and somebody pointed out the hands look a little small, and now I can't unsee
They
it. So
got
that
Kenny
doesn't
Pickett
win.
hands.
Exactly. Got the Kenny Pickett hands. This streamliner, I love the material that they're using, but I don't think this is readable, and I don't think this belongs in this particular finalist lineup. The Ming I actually do like. This isn't the best picture of it, so I could see myself voting for the Ming. It's between the Ming and the Angelus to me, and I'd probably give the Angelus the win. The AP is just meh. Like for the price, it ain't worth it. The look
What's going
isn't
on,
there.
John D? It just feels super futuristic and just not. I don't know. It's not for me.
Yeah, I think Angelus wins this round. Not handily, but it didn't sweat too hard. All right, now to the sports category. Watches linked to the world of sport, whose functions, material, and design are suited for physical exercise. AP Royal Oak Offshore Chrono, Chopard Alpine Eagle, SL Cadence, Grand Seiko Tokyo Lion, Laurent Ferrier Sport Auto 79, Parmigiani Tonda PF Chronograph Ultra Cermet, and a Resonance GMT Sport Chic Watch Type 7. Yeah, it might be the PF for me. Between that PF and the Laurent Ferrier. The Laurent Ferrier, I just feel like a rose gold watch is just. I don't know if it should be in this category, but I do love that watch.
I kind of like the Chopard. I'm not a big fan of the rose gold Laurent Ferrier, and that's mainly because I don't like the bezel the way it sits on the case. We've talked about that in the past.
Yes.
The Parmigiani is pretty good too. It's just like I feel like Parmigiani. What did they just thicken the lugs to make it more sporty? Is that what I'm seeing here? Because it looks like all the other watches that Parmigiani made. Like,
Yeah, I mean, they all kind of have the same design ethos. So this one's just cermet, so just that like ceramic variation material, unique color, unique dial.
but it feels like the lugs on this are a little bit bigger
I
than the
think that might just be
typical.
the picture.
Okay, gotcha.
They are like they're not small lugs, but this picture makes it seem a little bit more pronounced than they are in person.
It's between the Chopard and the Parmigiani for me, personally. I'll probably
But
lean towards the Chopard.
Duke of Rissington said no Tokyo Lions fans here. Wait, is this based on a team?
What?
I don't think it's based on a team, is it? Let me know. This is the Grand Seiko line, which I think is a cool watch. In this lineup is going to be the Laurent Ferrier or the PF to me. The PF Chrono all the way here from Duraj. John D says the more I look at the PF, the more they're growing on me. I think they're great watches. I'll give it to the PF. I'll give it to the PF. With Laurent Ferrier being my second, and then the Grand Seiko Lion being my third. What say you?
I think I'm going with the Chopard on this one. PF comes in a second, Grand Seiko third.
Duke of Rissington says, no, the model is called the Tokyo Lion. The K-ship is named the Tokyo Lion. It does look like a lion in the shape. Now I get it. Richard Buddy likes the AP. It's just a usual suspect. It might probably still win, though. Chopard 8 Hertz is not my fave dial, but the movement is cool. Yes, this is an amazing watch. I like this. The dial impression is really nice, too. I just think in this one, I go for the Parmigiani a little bit more. Pac Eldridge votes to Chopard as well. This is going to be an interesting category. I wonder who's going to win this one.
When do we find out the winners?
November, the first or second week of November. So we
How
got
long
some
does
time.
it take for influencers to figure out what they want?
Well, they got to fly out. They got to have the ceremony. Some people got to pay to get in. It's a whole business thing, That's happened. All right, we're gonna get into the Petite Aiguille as described. Watches with a retail price between 3,000 Swiss franc and 10,000 Swiss franc. Smartwatches are admissible in this category. Ooh, this is interesting. Amita, Digitrend, Open Sapphire, Christopher Ward in London, C12, H1Z C Streamliner, Alpine Mechanics Edition, Mad Editions Mad 2 Green, Nomos Shoot Club Sport, Atsuka Low Tech number 5. It's probably going to be the Atsuka Low Tech. I could see the Christopher Ward getting a lot of love too. I could see the Moser getting some love too. I thought this was a great release, but the fact that it was bundled, these are all actually pretty good in their own right. I don't know.
Mad 2 for me, but I'm not a fan of this category.
Yeah.
Personally, Mad 2 is like the most aesthetically pleasing to me. I don't like the Streamliner, man. Is that the Streamliner? Is that the Moser Streamliner?
Yeah, the smartwatch streamliner.
This is the reverse of the Fan Mahouts.
Yeah. Whole Milk says he likes the Nomos for him. This is a cool watch too. It's not a watch that we covered if we did very briefly here.
It
It's a
doesn't
world
look your
timer.
typical Nomos either. That's the other thing. It's got a little more character to it than the typical Nomos.
Oh, Duke of Brissenden is right. This isn't under 10,000 Swiss franc because you got to buy this with another watch. So technically, this should be disqualified from this category. You cannot purchase this watch for under 10,000 Swiss franc.
Well, my guess is you're right. They're using a loophole because the price probably is less than 10,000, but they don't talk about the fact you got to. I mean, you could make the argument that like the Nautilus couldn't be on a 50 and below because you got to take a couple pieces to get the Nautilus.
True, but that's not, you know.
I get it. It's not in the contract. It's not like literally in the bylaws. Whereas I think it is for the Streamliner, right?
John D says negative Ghost Rider pattern is in full effect. I think between the Mad 2 and the Otsuka Low Tech, I think the chat is going Mad 2. A lot of love for the Nomos there. Let's leave this one for debate. I can't pick a favorite. I pick Otsuka if it was mine. J picks Mad 2. I think the chat is between the Mad 2 and that Nomos Club. This is an interesting category. That Moser should not be there. All right, I think this is one of the last ones. The challenge category, watches with a retail price equal or under 3,000 Swiss franc. Smartwatches are admissible in this category. And we have the Atelier Win Millissime 2024, Beta Eclipse, Barron's Orion 1, Christopher Ward London C1 Celestial Moon Phase, in collaboration with Mr. Jones, Denison Natural Stone Tiger's Eye in gold, Corona Tokyo Jubilee Sensu EOL Shirai.
What's the last one?
This one, I can't say.
No, no, no.
It's
What's the
Corona
name?
Tokyo.
A Karuno?
Yeah, it's Corona
Yeah,
Tokyo.
the Karuno for me on this one. Um, Even though the third watch, I forgot the name of it, is really different. The Karuno really is speaking to me.
I like it. Juice, he just said Christopher Ward fanboys about to cancel y'all. They've been coming, man. They come. Hey, but
Cancel. What do we do?
I love the people. No, nothing. You know, the problem is these days you gotta be like over glowing with like love for all these brands and like nothing can do no wrong.
Christopher
Like,
Ward is.
yeah, I love Mike Person. I love the people over there, you know, and stuff like that. But we talk about what we talk about, you know. When the Christopher Ward check gets cut, you'll know, you know. Atelier Wen has to take it away from me. Between Atelier Wen and Barons, these are beautiful. I think this is the one that's tungsten case, but the dial is amazing gear shaped dial that I really, really love, and for the price point, I think they're amazing. If you want something funky, Barons has just been killing it. But Atelier Wen is probably gonna be. Oh, the Kuruno's good too. Duke of Brissenden says Denison is giving Piaget ass vibes. A little bit. A lot of their watches do give that vibe. I got to do a deeper dive on them before I talk too much because they do look a lot like something Piaget would be making. That Toki's nice. All right, I give it to the Toki. I'm in a Shogun mood as well, so it's just kind of.
Yeah, it's a good watch.
Whole Milk says it feels more like Atelier Win. They're great. Flip a coin on these two. I think that's what I
I
say
don't know.
there.
The purple's just how big is the watch? It looks like an AP. For me, it's just like I guess the price makes it cool, but beyond that,
Yeah, in person, those Atelier One pieces are amazing.
Like, where do you find those? Is that like one of those
Uh,
outlets?
I don't know if they have any ADs. I think they might be more direct to consumer. I'm just looking
Gotcha.
to see if there's any super special categories that we missed. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's been an amazing crowd. So we missed the jewelry section. Bowie Serpenti, Chopard Swan Lake. We already know that Chopard is gonna take it. That Piaget is kind of insane too. Oh, and the Simone Brett with diamonds and emeralds. That's an interesting piece as well. I think that Chopard is too crazy, but the Simone Brett might win. Artistic crafts. Chopard with the straw marquetry, the Hermes with the horse to stick his tongue out, the Louis Vuitton Tambour Bushido. That might probably win, but I'd love to see the Chopard get some representation there. That Tiffany & Co. Tourbillon is a crazy, crazy piece as well. We covered that. We covered the challenge, mechanical clock. I think the LePay is interesting, but this Fiona Kroger, Forget Time by Fiona Kroger and Danny Flageolet from de Bethune is very, very interesting as well. Mickey Alita as well always comes with just like the more Jules Verne-esque creations out there. So he might do well. Louis Vuitton did that really fun hot balloon there too, which is really cool. And that is pretty much it for all of them. And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I don't know if there's any.
Hugo Brissington asked you if you have any plans for the Geneva Watch Days stream. He said it starts on Thursday, or the Geneva Watch event.
So unfortunately, I won't be in Geneva Watch Days this year, but I want to stream any. I'll definitely will talk about any watches that come out. Revolution does panels. So if any of the panels are live that I can restream, I might restream some of the panels. And if there's like, you guys send me if there's anything interesting going on that you want me to live stream beyond what we'll normally do in our daily streams, let us know. But as you guys know, Geneva Watches will start pumping out a bunch of new releases. So we'll just hop on and comment. And if there's anything cool to live stream, I'll do that. We got Phillips auction, online auction is going to open up September 4th. So we'll be able to go over those. Releases. And yeah, if you see something live, I'm always there to jump on and do a live recap. But that's the plan so far for Geneva Watch Days. And then Dubai Watch Week, I'll be there for Dubai Watch Week, so I'm gonna try to figure out if I can live stream. If I'm not live streaming for Dubai Watch Week, you'll be getting like just a bunch of content just thrown up here, and maybe we do a members channel so I could just do like some fun unedited stuff for you. But next year for Watches and Wonders, we'll definitely be live streaming over there. Maybe we'll get the retired watch guy to come over to Switzerland and see the fountain and do all the good stuff. Anyways, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. You are the best chat ever. Remember, if you need truly independent watch advice, buy, sell, trade, anything you need watch related, hit me up at cqthewatchguy.com where you can see all my services. Find a way to contact. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your Tuesday and rest of the week. Tomorrow we will not be on. We're going down and doing a road trip tomorrow. We'll get you some content from that. But we'll be back on live Thursday and Friday. Jay, any words of wisdom for the people?
I'm at a loss for words today. Y'all have a great day. Is it Wednesday yet? No, Jesus.
It feels like a Wednesday, but it's actually a Tuesday. That's what happens with when you have these holiday weeks. Thank you guys, everyone. Shout out Duke of Brissington, Trap Vision, Whole Milk, John D. Duraj, Tan, Pac Elders, Julius Caesar, Jen G, who was in here earlier. Where's my brother? Goldfinger. Producer Vermal was in there, and everybody else who tunes in but aren't able to chat. Do me a favor, upvote, like, comment, subscribe, and see you Thursday. Have a great day, and see you soon.
Peace all.